Here on BGSUFalcons.com, it's a very special time of the season as we wrap up the 2010 campaign. It's Senior Day this Saturday when the BGSU Falcons take on the Buffalo Bulls at 1 p.m. here at Warren East Stellar Field. Sitting down here with head coach of your BGSU Falcon baseball team, Danny Schmitz. And, Coach, we just want to kind of go one by one. Each of these players has meant something special to the program, and so I want to start with the man that I just got done talking with, in Kevin Leady, and how he has progressed from the year 2006 to 2010 as a young man and as a hurler on the mound.
Well, Kevin Leady, number one, is a first-class young man. He's from a great family, and he's a team player. And he's a guy that came in as a dual player, both as a pitcher as an outfielder. And eventually, we turned him into just a straight pitcher. He kind of played the Burke Badenhop role. I think maybe that was his sophomore year, where he'd be a closer on Friday, and as long as he didn't throw more than a couple innings, we'd start him on Sunday. And did a phenomenal job that year. In 2007, had a great year for us. 2008, I believe he was out with Tommy John surgery, or I take that back. It was 2009 he was out. 2008 is when he had the great year. Okay, and then 2009, unfortunately, was out with Tommy John surgery. But he worked his tail off, got himself back into shape, and has come back with just a phenomenal year. And there's no question about it. He's been our best starting pitcher the whole year.
Did you really see that coming out of the gate after the surgery, after the rehab, to have him come out and be your number one starter statistically?
Yeah, you just never know when it comes to Tommy John. We've had guys that have had that, and of course you see it in the big league. Some guys, come back even better than what they were before the surgery, and but then some guys struggle with it. But Kevin is one of those guys, fortunately for us, who's come back even better than what he was before he got hurt.
Well, let's talk about David Borcherdt, another guy from Archibald, Ohio, who you brought into this program and has really, maybe not been an everyday guy, but he's played a very important role, especially off the bench for this squad.
No doubt about it. David's been a guy that's kind of been a backup outfielder for us, and plus a catcher, but he's a guy that, late in the game, if we need to get a big pinch hit, he's a guy that comes off the bench and does that. He also has turned himself into a very good outfielder, so I have no problems with putting him out there, for defensive purposes and everything. But a great young man. Once again, I know the guys have a lot of fun with David. He has one of those dry sense of humors, and the guys really have a good time around Dave.
Mark Galvin is a guy that everybody, I think, he might be almost one of the quietest unsung heroes on this team. He quietly put together a 19-game hit streak, which even baffled me as I looked at the stats. So he's a guy that, in your opinion, solid contributor. What else does he give to his team?
Well, Mark is a gamer. Mark loves to play the game, and early in the year, he had a little bit of shoulder issues and stuff, but as the season's gone on, he's worked very hard to get his shoulder back in shape. But he's probably one of our most consistent hitters over a 4-year career. I mean, he's been solid, each and every one of his years, and each year he's gotten better. And once again, he's coming back his senior campaign and just really, once again, leading the way, and he's a terrific outfielder. He really gets great jumps on the ball, but he plays the game the way it's supposed to be played, and I'm very proud about all of our seniors. If they didn't graduate last weekend, they're all going to be finished up by December.
How about another senior, Denny Vaughn, a pure power stroke, comes from a great family. It seems like just the all-around great kid to have on this program's team.
No doubt about it. You're right. Denny's a great young man, and you're right. He is from a great family, wonderful family. And there's another young man. The first couple of years, he was a good college player. But the last 2 years, his junior and senior year, now he's turned himself into a great college player. He had a phenomenal year last year as a junior, helped us win a title, and then he's coming right back his senior year. And, earlier in the year we had him at first base, but now we moved him back to his natural position, left field, and he's taken over the number 3 slot in the lineup and really has done a tremendous job for us.
Seems like when you shake him up a little bit, he just seems to fall into his place on the team, and he's done great things since that time.
No doubt about it. That's exactly it. And that's a credit to Denny because, and to all of our guys, because, whatever role we've asked our guys to take, they've been willing to do that, and that's led by our senior class.
All right, how about another guy, one that has been here all 4 years? He has steadily climbed his way up through the record books. Derek Spencer, anchoring down the hot corner, power, bat. Is there anything more that you could have asked for this individual in 4 years here?
Not at all, and I'll tell you what, he came in as a freshman at the first half of the season, just kind of played a role there, and then as we got towards the end of the year, the second half of the year, we started playing him on a regular basis, and I think if my memory serves me correct, I believe he hit right around 400 as a freshman, and then he backed it up with a phenomenal sophomore year. We moved him from shortstop to third base then, and then of course, last year he had a great year. Him and Ryan Shea were going after a number of the offensive records on the team and stuff. And and of course he was drafted, I believe, 45th round by the Royals and everything. And we're fortunate that he came back and everything. And right now he's having another very solid year as a senior.
3 straight seasons, 10 or more home runs. You can't ask for much more than that, can you?
Exactly. And we project him. I think he's approaching the 50 RBI mark, which is outstanding. And he's been very solid, very consistent. And same thing too is he's just a gamer, loves to play the game, and I just love watching him throw the ball across the diamond. He's got a hose.
Well, talk about that one C word, consistency, and another senior immediately comes to my mind is Logan Meisler in the field, at the bat. It just seems like everywhere you put him, no matter where it is, he's right there and doing what he does every single day.
No doubt about it. He's probably got one of the prettiest strokes that I've seen in all my years here at Bowling Green. And you're right, he's turned himself into an outstanding second baseman. Once again, he had some shoulder issues, at the beginning of the year. But as the season went on, the shoulders gotten better. He got actually hit by a pitch too, which kind of laid him up. And now he's healthy, and boy, he's playing very, very well. And once we incorporated him in the leadoff spot, that's kind of when our offense has taken off. So just a great young man. He's graduated, and he's going to be very successful in the game of life.
That's what I was just alluding to, because he might be a guy in the executive world someday where we might be having to ask for jobs. Well, maybe not you, but maybe me.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping I'll be retired at that time. But no, but you're right. He's going to be very, very successful. I know the family has a business, and I'm sure that's where he's going to start off at. But just a great young man and a great family there too.
Another 2 guys that not everyday starters, but certainly key contributors. Richie O'Brien as a reliever has certainly come on through the years, has been a key part both on and off the field. Talk about Richie and what you may not see on the diamond, but you see from him day to day.
Yeah, once again, he's one of our hardest workers, and one thing about Richie, he always stays ready, he never complains, he knows what his role is, and his role is a tough one because he's in middle relief, and sometimes middle relievers pitch and sometimes they don't and everything, but Richie just keeps working his tail off. And once again, from a quality family, he's got his younger brother Patrick here, so that's been good for Patrick that he's got his older brother here. Richie's going to graduate in December, and we're very proud of that. And he's what you call a true Falcon, and we're very, very proud he's part of our family.
And certainly another senior another guy asked for to produce power numbers. He established himself early on, and now he's a great guy off the bench. Brandon McFarland from the left-hand side.
No doubt about it. I'll tell you what, Brandon also works very, very hard. And the thing I like about Brandon is he's our best cheerleader, and whether he's in the game or he's not in the game, he's really backing his team up, and which is very, very important. But you're right, he's got a sweet stroke, and same thing is, we get towards the latter part of the game and we need to bring somebody off the bench. He's the guy that we bring off the bench, and boy, he's delivered time and time again. So we're excited for him, and he's graduated, and like I said, just another great family, and we're very, very blessed here.
And last but not least, you can't forget this guy, TJ Blanton, a guy that's really put 2 productive years together out in the outfield, defensively, offensively, and is skyrocketing up the offensive numbers for this team.
Well, TJ, of course, was a great athlete in high school, 3-sport star, all-state quarterback, all-state wrestler of all things, and then also a baseball player. Baseball was probably 3rd on the list. So with TJ just concentrating on one sport, baseball, you're right, his last 2 years, the junior and senior year, have been phenomenal. And in my 20 years at Bowling Green, we've had some phenomenal center fielders. And I'll tell you what, TJ's right up there, if not at the top of the list. But then you're right, the offensive numbers have just been unbelievable the last couple of years. And he's this year he's not only hitting for average, but he's also hitting for power, and he can steal some bases, and just once again, just a great guy. And he's going to be finishing up his degree this summer, and he's going right on to work on his master's and everything in the fall. And once again, he's going to be a very successful young man in the game of life.